Okay everyone, I decided I better make a video on graphing absolute value functions. I do have numerous other videos on Novi Math as well as Novi Math Stars. So in case those of you that go on YouTube, you can look up Novi Math or Novi Math Stars. But anyways, I'm going to go pretty fast here. Try to fill in as much information as I can. So this is the video I want you to watch multiple times until you understand the video. Anyways, let's get started. So here I have a typical absolute value. Notice the -3 in front. But how do we do a graph again? Let's start by making a table. And in my table, I need the right points. So how do we determine the correct points? Well, we always look inside the expression and we ask ourselves, what makes it 0? In this case, -3 plus 3 is 0, right? So I'm going to put -3 in the middle. I call that my middle number. And then I'm just going to count in order each way. So as you can see, it's almost like following a number line there. I got them in order, right? And so now I'm going to take each one, plug it in one by one, and see what graph I come up with. So let's start with -1 right there. And guys, I gotta emphasize, show your work, okay? Even I, as your teacher, show my work. You show your work so you avoid silly mistakes. But anyways, when I plug in -1, notice right here, guys, -1 plus 3 is 2. The absolute values right here make that 2 stay a positive 2. But then this -3, you see, kicks in. And I'm going to times it by -3, and then after that I'm going to still minus the 2 at the end. So -3 times 2 is -6, minus 2 is -8. -8. Now, we talked about symmetry in class, so since I know that's -8, see, I know this one at the other end is going to be -8 because absolute values are symmetric. Okay? Now I'm going to keep working on this page, guys, and I'll erase it before I graph. So let's do another one here. I'm going to plug in -2. And this is what I'm going to come up with. So 3 and -2 is 1. The absolute value makes it 1. The 1, though, when you times by -3 is -3. I have a -2 to deal with. And that gives me -5 there. And by symmetry, -5 there. Finally, let's go ahead and do the -3. So -3, absolute value of -3 plus 3, minus 2. Now, when I get a 0, of course, absolute value is 0, times -3 is 0. 0 minus 2 is -2. And so all we have to do now, guys, is graph. So let me erase this real quick. And let's get to the graph. So first point, -1 is -8. Now, it's definitely off the screen there, guys, way down at the bottom of my screen, which I can't even place there. -2 is -5 right there. -3 is -2 right there. -4 is -5 right there. And -5 again is going to be way down off the screen. But as you can see there, guys, there is my V shape. And absolute values always look like V's. Okay? Pause the video if you need to. Let's do one more. So this one, again, we make our table. We look here. I know 2 is what makes it 0. Notice I put 2 in the middle of my graph. And then I just start counting each way. 1, 0, 3, 4. Now guys, again, please keep your numbers in order. Okay? And I'm just going to start with 0 right here and plug it in. So plugging in 0. Right here, I know 0 minus 2 is -2. The absolute value makes it +2. And then I'm going to times it by this other positive 2 and minus 1. 2 times 2, 4 minus 1 is 3. By symmetry, I know that's also 3. All right, let's plug in the 1. 2, absolute value, 1 minus 2, minus 1. I know 1 minus 2 is negative 1, but the absolute value makes it positive 1, times 2 minus 1. 2 times 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. And by symmetry, 3 must be 1. And then finally, the vertex, guys. Do you agree if I put in 2, I'm going to get a 0. Even times 2 is still going to be a 0. Minus 1 is negative 1. And after I clean up here, guys, we're going to be ready to graph. So my first point is 0, 3. Right there. My second point is 1, 1. My third point is 2, negative 1. My fourth point is 3, positive 1. And my last point is 4, 3. Notice I get a nice V shape again, because all absolute values make a V shape. Okay? So that's it for the graphing, guys. But I just want to remind you of one more thing. Notice how this one opens up. Why? Because the coefficient in front of the absolute value was positive. Okay? If we look at the first graph we did, notice how it opens down. Why? Because the coefficient was a negative. So a negative will make it open down. A positive will make it open up. Until next time, bye.